Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review. This is BelleTress COLUMBIA in the color Mocha with Cream. I bought this wig probably a year ago now, and I don't know why I've never reviewed it, but here we are. I'm going to review it so that I can possibly wear it. So if you want to know more about this style from BelleTress, kind of an oldie but a goodie, then stick around. I really love BelleTress fibers. I've been a little afraid of their wavy and curly pieces because they're heat friendly, and I haven't mastered how to care for heat friendly fibers without altering them. When you take heat to synthetic fibers, whether they be heat friendly or not, you typically alter the style in some way, because if it's a curly style and you take heat to it, it relaxes. If it's a straight style, it's a little bit less obvious if you've altered it because the fibers are straight, unless you alter and put some sort of a bend in them, a wave or a kink or something like that. And when I get a curly or wavy piece, I typically don't want to alter the curl pattern. So that's been my hesitation with BelleTress and some of their wavy styles. I found this wig on clearance just forever ago, it feels like, and I purchased it, and then it sat in its box. And that is sort of a thing I do. When I get a new piece, I often just sort of sit on it for a while. I don't know if it's just the change or what, because once I put it on and I start to like it, then I wear it all the time. So I don't know why I haven't worn this one, but I haven't. So this is what it looks like pretty much out of the box. I did have to spray it with a little bit of water and hang it upside down because it had a little bit of box hair. But I did that a while ago, so I don't have any video for you. But let's just take a look at this from all sides. I know how important those out of the boxes are, and I'm usually pretty good about them, but because I purchased this one such a long time ago, and I don't know why I didn't do it. But anyway, please forgive me. This does look pretty much like it looked out of the box. It just had some box hair. That can happen with wavy pieces. I have lots of videos where I've shown you how to deal with that in the past, so if you need help, just comment that you don't know how to deal with box hair, and I'll send you a couple of links so that you can check those videos out. All right. Columbia. This is, so one of the challenges I think with BelleTress wavy pieces is a lot of their wavy pieces have a very sort of messy, deconstructed, disorganized bedhead kind of wave. That's not my personal preference for me, and so I have wanted a wavy piece from BelleTress for a while, but I just really couldn't figure out which one would fit best because of that sort of challenge. I have reviewed a couple in the past, and the wave patterns just really weren't my cup of tea. But every time I've seen Columbia on someone, it's always so darling. And I had actually done a trade with a wig sister probably 2.5 years ago now for a Columbia that she had cut into sort of more of an A-line bob, and it was quite a bit shorter than this. And I loved it, and so really wanted to see what the original Columbia looks like. So this one is, I would say, Columbia is generally a shoulder length wavy piece. Because there's some variation in waves, your wave pattern may look a little different than mine. I think when I saw Taz's review, hers seemed a lot wavier. One of the things I think that's really important to know about this is it is very flat on the top. There is no permatease. If there is any, it's just the tiniest bit of crimpy fibers, but there's no poofy, pillowy permatease, so you're not getting a lot of lift and volume out of this one. Sometimes with waves like this, it would be nice to have just a little bit of permatease, like right up in here, to just give that just a little bit of volume. Because what happens, and I'm seeing that with this one, is it seems to be falling flat. Now, obviously, when I play with it, I can give it the illusion on video for you guys that it has some body. But this will not hold. An hour, half hour, I don't know how long it will take, but in not too short of time, or long of time, it will just, gravity's and the heat of my head is going to take it and it's going to make it flatten out. This is something I've experienced with other wigs as well, especially when I worked outside the home and I was gone for 10, 11 hours a day. I would, you know, partway through the day, I'd go to the bathroom and the hair just looked so flat and I would have to get in there and I'd have to try to poof it up. Wigs with permatease, that's not an issue. So for my sisters out there who are really kind of anti-permatease, I want you to think about the kind of styles you like. If you like just straight, super sleek, super flat styles, I think that's appropriate. But if you like curls and waves, but you want to avoid permatease fully, then you're not ever going to get sort of a full curly or wave look. It's going to be a little bit flat. And if that's what you're looking for, then you'll be happy. But for some of my wig sisters, I don't think you really understand the value that permatease might bring into certain styles. I really think this style would benefit from a little bit of permatease. For me personally, I'm sure I have some wig sisters out there who love Columbia and are happy it doesn't have permatease. I would say the hair density, I'm really being chatty today, you guys. I gotta get moving here. I just want to talk and talk and talk about this wig. The density, I would consider this a moderate density. It's not super heavy density, but it's not light density. It is, I would say, a moderate density. And because it doesn't have a lot of poof and permatease, it really doesn't feel very heavy. But because it's sort of long and you've got these waves, I would say for some people, this style might drag them down a little bit. I think I might be one of them. I really like this style and I want to like it, but I think it drags me down a little bit and I would benefit from a little poof. Now this does have a lace front, so let's take a look at that. BelleTress has really, really improved their lace fronts over the years, and I think they took a page out of the Raquel Welch playbook. Look at how they brought those highlights right up to the front here. So you've got a really good looking lace front that looks really realistic. And it has a left mono part, so on the left going to the right. And so you can part it just in the one spot. So if you like to part your hair differently, you're not going to be able to do that with this one. Let's take a look at the cap. So BelleTress, their lace is just a little bit shiny. They're monofilament here, and I've noticed that on other pieces. Depending on the piece that you get and the color of the hair, that may or may not be a concern. If you get a piece where you think it's looking a little shiny, just use a little bit of translucent powder. That will tamp it down and help give it a look of realism. It's really easy to do. So you've got that lace front, you've got soft bendable ear tabs, you have sort of a half extended nape. It's not a full extension, but it's not extended. And then you've got the bra strap adjusters, which aren't my favorite at all. And I don't find that BelleTress adjusters stay very well. So I would recommend that you take a needle and thread and just sew the adjuster in place once you get it adjusted. So, you know, just put a little stitch just around the metal piece that's holding the adjuster and you'll be good to go. BelleTress does typically run a little big. I have this cinched in about a third of the way, maybe not quite half. And I have a 22-inch circumference. So BelleTress is one of those brands that is considered big head friendly. Typically, I have had a BelleTress that felt small, but that happens in every line of wigs. So there is some inconsistency. I don't really know how that's possible in a cap. I can see how it's possible in a style and in the fibers, but for the cap, I'm really not sure how that's possible, but it is. I would say this one that I have is running its typical bigger than average. It has so much stretch, so much stretch. So I'd say if you're approaching large head measurements, BelleTress could be a brand to try. I always recommend when you're trying something for the first time, unless you're like me and you rarely ever send wigs back, you either figure out how to make them work or you sell them or something like that, I would recommend purchasing from a seller that's got a great return policy if you're not sure if BelleTress is going to work for you. The three I typically recommend: Name Brand Wigs, who I love, and I review for them all the time. They're so generous to allow me to show you guys so many wigs. They're here in Minnesota where I live. They're wonderful people. They don't have the best return policy. So I'd consider them the third on the list because they do have a restocking fee. And the reason for that is because they're a very small business. And small businesses just can't absorb the costs that larger businesses can absorb, such as lost money in shipping and, you know, all of the things that go along with doing a return. So Name Brand Wigs, if you want to support a small business and don't mind paying that restocking fee. Otherwise, the two that I know of that don't have a restocking fee as of the filming of this is Wig Studio One and wigs.com. Wigs.com is like the Amazon of wig sellers. They're huge and they have the lowest cost of return. Wig Studio One, the shipping that they charge you is just a little bit more. So if you really want the least risk, wigs.com, like the Amazon of the world for wigs. Okay guys, let's talk about this color. Mocha with cream. One of my favorite BelleTress colors. Every time, I only own one other wig in this color and it's Lady Latte. I don't know why I don't have more wigs in this color. Every single time I put this on, I'm just blown away by how gorgeous it is. I love this color. I do have a color code for you guys for this, so I gotta grab that. Hold on. Okay, so what we have here in Mocha with Cream is a 2R, so the root is a 2. It is a very dark root. 2 is the darkest you can get before black. Very dark root. One of the complaints that people have of this color, I don't mind it. 613 is a buttery platinum color, also sometimes described as a French vanilla white blonde. 30 is a light auburn and a 6 is a medium brown. So you've got a lot going on and they've done such a good job of blending these all together to make this just soft, warm, auburnish, light brown color. So you've got, you can see the auburn up in front here. You see those darker tones? That's the opposite, the medium auburn. And then they've really done a great job of sort of putting that 613 highlighted in, but it's not stark. It's not like this white blonde. They've done such a great job of blending that. And then you've got your 6, which is sort of blended throughout. And I think that's what keeps this from really being too blonde with that 613. And then there's that root. So it's really dark, but they've done a lot of diffusing of it. So you've got a lot of this, the lighter colors. See how there's like little strands of it diffused up into there? So it is a dark root, but it's not it doesn't look like regrowth. It looks intentional. And for someone like me with such dark bio hair, well, look at how gray I'm getting, but really dark bio hair, having a dark root like this allows me to blend my hair if I need to. My hair, I would say, is like a 4, potentially a 2, and it's getting really ashy with the graying and just losing the pigment. But so if I have a style where my hair is going to show through, it's going to blend really well with that dark. So I appreciate that a lot, and I love how they diffused it so you don't have this just awful regrowth line. They did such a good job. I think it's so flattering, but I do want you to be aware it is a 2. That's very dark. And then I love how they brought those highlights up to the front because it just brightens it up, and I do love a little bright highlight. I like money pieces on wigs. This isn't really a money piece because it's not super thick, but one of the things keep in mind, because they did that, if you want to style this off the face and you go to pull it up, you're really going to see that a lot more prominently. So keep that in mind. Okay, everybody, I think we can go outside now so that you can see this color outside. So to sum up, Columbia is a super cute, it's a messy wave pattern. I think it's kind of the sexy kind of wave pattern, sort of the messy, sexy, you know, people spend time putting waves in, then they put product in to make it give you this sort of effortless tousled look. That's what this is. I really, really like it. My only complaint really is that it doesn't have any volume up here or any poof. I would really appreciate that. That's causing me to pause on whether or not this is the right style for me. But other than that, I really like it. I think a lot of people love Columbia. So if you're looking for something that's about shoulder length, they have shorter bobs with waves like this. Maybe think about Columbia, especially if you don't like a lot of poof. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I think I covered it all. I hope I covered it all. I'm having a rough reviewer day. I'm not sure where my brain is, but hopefully you got what you needed. Let's get outside. All right, everybody, we're outside. It's super cloudy. Hopefully it's bright enough, but it's really cloudy. But at least you're getting to see. You can see that the bright pieces up here, and then how well they blended all of those colors. And then that root, which again, really dark, but they just did such a good job of diffusing it. I think it really allows somebody who has dark brunette hair naturally to wear a light color like this. There's something for everybody out there. Now they have a color, oh, I'm going to forget the name. They have a version of this that doesn't have the rooting. It's on the tip of my tongue. Nutella. There might be another part of it. I will look that up and I'll put it in the description. So if you love this color but you don't want the rooting, the Nutella buttercream, that's it. You can look for whatever styles come in that Nutella buttercream. It's basically this color. Oh, the sun's going to poke out for us without the rooting. I reviewed a piece in that and I can't remember the name of it. If you searched Denise Sheets Nutella buttercream, you probably will find it, but I reviewed a piece and I didn't like it without the rooting. I really need that rooting, but some people won't. So there you go. Now there is really something for everyone. Okay, you guys, I think that's it. Hopefully you got what you needed. Let me know if you have any questions. I really appreciate that you guys stayed around for this whole video. That means a lot to me. I'll talk to you soon. All right, everyone, here I am with the out of the box for Columbia. I took her tag off of her, but that is all that I've done so far. And here she is. I cannot tell you how long I have debated. I'm sure I talked about all of this in the rest of the video, but debated about ordering this wig for the past, I don't know, year. Because I have two highly modified Columbias now, I realize. And jeez, I love them, and I wanted to see what she looked like unmodified because they were both cut and I never saw them brand new. So this is Columbia out of the box. Nothing done to her, not even shaken out. Just out of the box, took the tag off. Now, right away, what I'm noticing, a big difference I'm noticing between this one and my modified Columbias are, like, they seem like they're just a little bit fuller all up here with a little bit more lift and a little bit more curl or wave. Now, that could be a product of, the variation. Wigs will have variation, and so those could be variation. It could also mean that the person I got them from did a little bit more than just cut length. She may have curled a little bit. She might have taken steam to this to create lift. I can't actually speak to any of that. So all I'm telling you is I'm noticing some differences. So right now, my initial impression, besides I love her and she's adorable, is, you know, she doesn't have terrible box hair, but I'm just wondering if some of this flatness that I'm seeing is box hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, you know, and it doesn't have a lot of permatease at all, like, if there's any permatease in here at all, it's just little crimpy fibers. I'm almost saying there's no permatease. I'm not feeling any and I'm not seeing any. If it was this would have had a lot of permatease, then my next step would have been to really get into that permatease and wake it up, you know, shake it out, probably spray it down with water, really get into that permatease because it gets compacted down when it's in a box and inside the netting and all of that. And then I would have hung it upside down for at least a few hours, but maybe for a day or two, just to really make sure gravity took a hold of that. Because she doesn't have permatease though, I mean, this one's not going to take very much to really realize its full potential. So you always want to shake it out once you decide to keep it. I mean, that's just a must. Because then that's going to start to separate those fibers and really give you a sense of what you've got. But because this one has wave to it, and she's a little bit longer, so I probably shook her out a little bit more than I should have for this length. I wasn't really thinking. I'm not used to wigs that are this long. I get a lot of chin length and above wigs, which you can shake the heck out of those. But the longer they get, the less you want to go to town shaking because it creates a lot of tangling. But BelleTress fibers are so great. And this one feels just amazing. And even with all that shaking, I'm not getting really bad tangling at all. So what I was going to say is because she does have somewhat of a wave, I do think I want to spray this with water and scrunch her up and see how does that wave respond to a little bit of water and a little bit of scrunching. So that's going to be my next step. Is I'm just going to spray her down. I'm going to do it upside down. That's what I do with curly and wavy wigs. I spray them with water upside down, scrunch up while it's damp, and then I'm just going to take and I'm going to hang it by the tag with a laundry hook clip, which I've shown in other videos, and I always have linked in my Amazon store, which is in the description. And then I'm just going to let it dry, and then let's just see kind of what the waves are. And you will all have already known all of this because I've already reviewed her for you, but that's where I started and that's the thought process I go through. So hopefully if you haven't sat through one of my unboxings, out of the box I should say, before, hopefully that was helpful to you. But if you've been around for a while and you still stick around through all of these, you know that my goal of the out of the box section is to really help new wig wearers be comfortable with some of the variations you see, some of the things that happen when you first take a wig out of the box, so that I can help you to panic less and feel more confident that you're going to be able to make a wig work for you. Thanks for being here to watch this, you guys. I'll talk to you soon.